Ladies and gentlemen of the interwebs, this is Chiamazing here, bringing you some gaming type news and stuff for this September the 14th. This will be my weekly Friday show here, and it's pretty much going to be a lot about the WiiU. But before we get into the WiiU, there's actually a few things I want to cover. The first thing I want to talk about is NVIDIA releasing the 660 and 650. I want to talk about that real quick for those people who really need to get a new graphics card, like my roommate. The 660 will be $229 and the 650 be $109. Those are starting prices. Obviously they'll change depending on who the manufacturer is and what the actual specs are, but the initial specs, the 650 is performing a little bit better than the 550, and the 660 is actually performing between the 570 and the 580, so that's pretty good, and you should definitely check that out if you want a 600 series card. They're fairly affordable. IGN is updating/upgrading its review pages. The first one to receive treatment is Borderlands 2. I'll post a link below so you can check out the new layout, and also so you can check out the review. There's a lot more videos, and they got rid of the little breakdown box. And speaking of Borderlands 2, IGN gave it a 9 out of 10 or a 90 out of 100. Borderlands 2 will also be available at launch on the PSN, and they also talked about the golden key thing a little bit, which is something you get from Premier Club, which is something you get to join through pre-ordering the game through certain retailers. What this golden key is, you'll have this key, and once you get to the city sanctuary, there'll be a chest you can unlock with some very rare gear, which means purple gear, but you might not want to open it immediately because the gear is going to scale with your level, so you might want to hold off on opening it. The art of Bioshock Infinite will release a day after the game on February 27th. Dark Horse is publishing it, and Amazon has a pre-order, and I think the price is $40. Guild Wars 2 has broke 2 million in sales, and that is amazingly awesome. My roommate plays Guild Wars 2, or was going to play, or playing, or something. I haven't checked it out yet, but I need to. There will be more Eve Dust integration, as in the next update, Dust players will be able to join and manage corporations. The Resident Evil writer/director, Paul W.S. Anderson, wants to do something besides Resident Evil. He's actually wanting to do Monster Hunter as a movie, and knowing Capcom, they're more likely going to let him do it, especially with the success that Resident Evil movies have. Expect something about that. I think it's in planning right now. Diablo 3 patch 1.05 was going to add in the Infernal Machine, which is pretty much going to be like the Pandemonium event from Diablo 2, where we're going to have Uber bosses. So yay, I guess. No, I mean it's cool. It's a cool thing that they're adding. The first Resident Evil 6 review was in. It came from Official PlayStation Magazine in Italy, and they gave it a 9. It's a glorious return to the series, but the split screen mirrors some of the issues that Resident Evil 5 had. And the last thing before we get into the big story is that we could have a 12GB PlayStation 3 in the next 2 weeks. It also could be ultra slim. This is being reported by a German online retailer, and I said realtor like 6 times trying to say retailer. Whether or not it actually comes true, we'll find out something because of Tokyo Game Show and Sony having a press conference Wednesday. Now onto the big topic, and the one that everybody's talking about, and that would be the WiiU. Nintendo had their press conference yesterday, and we have the official release date. It is November 18th for North America, November 30th for Europe, South Africa, and Australia, and surprisingly December 8th for Japan. Normally they get their stuff earlier. It's kind of weird. Some specs, which we don't have hardcore super hardcore specs on it, but we do have a general rundown, and those specs are a IBM power-based multi-core processor, a Radeon-based HD GPU, which is a GPU that can perform computing tasks. The system's actually going to have 2 gigs of memory, one system memory, and the other's main, which is what the games will use. In comparison, the 360 has 512, and the PS3 has 256 CPU and 256 GPU. The WiiU optical disc will hold 25 gigabytes of data. which isn't super impressive, but it's pretty good. The really impressive thing is the speed of the drive. It's going to run at 22.5 megabytes a second. PlayStation 3's Blu-ray drive runs at 9 megabytes a second, so that's pretty awesome. It'll have wireless BGN, but no Ethernet, so you'll have to use one of its 4 USB ports to get an adapter for that, from what I'm understanding. It has 6-channel PCM linear audio. It's compatible with nearly all Wii software and accessories. It's approximately 1.8 inches high, 10.6 inches deep, and 6.75 inches long, and weighs about 3.5 pounds, so it's got a little bit of weight to it. The gamepad, which is the thing that they've been showing off so much, weighs 1.1 pounds, so it's got some serious weight to it, and has a 6.2 inch 16:9 ratio LCD touchscreen, which we kind of already knew that, but the weight is the big thing. I'm not sure how I feel about how heavy it is. The console itself will support 2 of those gamepads or 4 Wii remotes or Wii Remote Pluses. There's going to be 2 models. There's a basic model and a premium model. The basic model comes with an 8 gigabyte console, a gamepad, a sensor bar in North America. Outside of North America, I'm not so sure. I've heard no. It comes with HDMI cable, which is awesome considering none of the other consoles come with an HDMI cable, and AC adapters for the console and for the gamepad, and will be $299. So it's actually a lot cheaper than I know some people thought it was going to be. The premium version is going to be 32 gigabytes and come with the gamepad sensor bar, comes with Nintendo Land, comes with a charging cradle for the gamepad, comes with a stand for the gamepad and the console, and also comes with Nintendo Network Premium subscription. It's not like PlayStation Plus from what I can tell, or Xbox Live. It's more so you will get a discount on Nintendo games. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool that it comes with the console. But the console is also going to be $349 US. These are US prices. Additional gamepads will not be available at launch in North America. They did say something about them in Japan, and they're in Japan they would retail for 13,400 yen, which is equal to $172, which means one gamepad is a little over half the cost of the console. That's ridiculous and slightly expected. Now, they did say that, like the PlayStation 3, you will be able to expand the memory. You can hook up external hard drives, you can plug in USB drives. Nintendo of America CEO Reggie actually used an example of doing a full-on 3 terabyte hard drive connected to the Wii U. So even if you get the 8 gigabyte limit, it really isn't that big of a deal because you can always add more. And they didn't want to attach price points to different hard drive sizes, just because of the falling prices of hard drives. Now, an interesting thing is this Nintendo TV E. It's got a weird name. It is pretty cool, and the fact that lets you watch stuff on the gamepad, has no subscription fee, has, you know, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, has all those. Even heard that it has like Wikipedia. You can also watch live TV and recorded programs through TiVo or DVR. Now, it doesn't have DVR or TiVo software built into the Wii or anything, or hardware built into the Wii or the gamepad, so I'm assuming you're going to have to somehow connect it with your current DVR or TiVo. But that's still pretty cool. So someone can be watching TV and you could be watching TV on your gamepad. There's support for all US and Canadian cable and dish providers as far as I know. Something to definitely keep an eye on, just because that in concept is cool. And then the last bit is going to cover the games, and we actually have a few games announced. We had New Super Mario Bros. U, Nintendo Land, FIFA 13, Madden 13, NBA 2K 13, Mass Effect 3, Zombie U, Arkham City Armored, Wonderful 101, Skylander Giants, which is probably going to be a cash cow considering how much money Skylanders just kind of brings in, Aliens Colonial Marines, Tekken Tag 2 with WiiU exclusive content, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, Assassin's Creed 3, Black Ops 2, which has this cool thing with the split screen where one person will be playing on the TV and the other person will be playing on the Wii gamepad, Bayonetta 2, which was announced as a Wii U exclusive to the surprise of everyone. And there's like a bunch more, because in the launch time area something like 50 games, so they have a lot of support. surprisingly. Especially from third parties. They tend to be pretty bad with third parties. But Activision's got a pretty impressive lineup. All these games will retail at normal game price of $59.99, which I think might have surprised some people too. I think people might have been expecting it to be a little bit cheaper like Wii games are. And GameStop is currently taking pre-orders on the WiiU. If you trade your Wii in, you get $60 of credit, but you might want to wait on trading your Wii in because there's something with your games won't transfer over and your save data won't. So overall, my thoughts on the WiiU are that it actually looks a lot better than I originally thought, especially the amount of RAM that's included. That should actually be really beneficial. I'm not sure if I'll actually get one. The launch lineup looks really impressive. Overall, I think they'll have a solid footing. The price point's right. The specs are better than current gen, but not by a whole lot. And that might be their biggest problem, is they're not enough better. That people might just go, I'll wait. But if you plan on getting a WiiU, let me know. Let me know why in the comments below, and I will see you guys on Monday.